Call the meeting to order. If everyone could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. First order of business, Commissioner Evans, do we have any opening comments?
Thanks, yes. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Just a reminder, only questions or statements regarding an agenda item will be entertained under citizens to be heard at the top of the meeting. All other matters will be recognized during public comment at the end of the meeting. We're all in this together. For those who missed the November meeting, we'd once again like to introduce our new township manager, Don Vimazal. Yes, Vimazal. Don hit the ground running last Monday, the 4th, and as he said, has been drinking from the fire hose ever since. We're very excited to have him. And as we rapidly approach the end of another year, we as a board hope you're as full of excitement as we are. 2024 promises to be the year we start owning our township motto, the heart of Chester County. On Saturday, members of the Historical Commission spent the day decorating Spackman Davis Farm for the holidays. The boys at Jeffress cut and delivered a 15-foot Norway spruce, while individual members supplied flameless candles, bows, lanterns, pine garland, wreaths, spotlights, extension cords, and other festive decorations to reflect this season of joy. We've been humbled by the tons of positive comments that have been coming in and all of the thanks for bringing the area to life. If you haven't had a chance to see it, take a drive by after sunset. It's beautiful. And speaking of holiday decorations, special kudos go out to the campus on Lincoln Highway for the beautiful holiday lights and decorations they've put up. What a great way to welcome visitors entering Cowan Township from the east. And a strong example for all of our businesses along Lincoln Highway to consider following. We encourage them to be a part of the solution by making Lincoln Highway merry and festive. And a reminder, when we all work together, there's nothing we can't do. Spread kindness, everyone. Anger, grudges, and resentments are not worth our time or energy. Compassion, empathy, peace, and love, these are what make the world go round.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Evans. Talking about the Spackman Farm, I also wanted to point out we had our tree lighting on December 3rd for the community. Excellent event. I do want to do a shout out. Just Abby, your group was amazing. The community came together. The Maestro Singers, is it from Coates? Meister Singers. They were incredible. So it was a fun event. I just wanted to say thank you so much.
And also, thank you to the Thorndale Fire Company for providing a vehicle for Santa to join us.
We did have that special person. All right. I did want to point out we held an executive session for legal issues at 6:30 prior to this meeting. And Chief, we have Police Cadet McLean Brostrom here.
Now officially police officer McLean.
Woo! Excellent. We heard some very good things about you, Chief. If you could just highlight.
Yes.
If you embellish me just for a moment, I'd like to embarrass him publicly like I
Perfect.
did my children. So McLean entered the academy in July, on July 5th. And beginning July 5th, he distinguished himself and the township throughout his entire 6 months of training. He was appointed by academy staff as a student leader and held the rank of class lieutenant. We attended his graduation last evening, and he was the recipient of the Marksmanship Top Gun Award, the Physical Fitness Award, the Leadership Award, runner-up for class valedictorian award. We won't hold that against him that he didn't finish first in that category. And today he passed the state certification exam. So he will join the ranks of the police department next week. And we will get about $19,000 in reimbursement from the state for us sponsoring him to attend the Montgomery County Community College Police Academy.
Fantastic.
Welcome to Count Township.
Yes, thank
Welcome.
you.
All right, next on the agenda, we have citizens to be heard. I'm reaching out to the township here. I do not see any hands raised in the building, any in Zoom. With none at this time, we'll move on to appointments. We had a chance to interview Sam Weiner for Park and Rec prior to this meeting as well. Of course, he has been involved with Park and Rec for I don't know how long, I guess since Helen, his wife, had reeled him in. But he is he's made himself a home here, so we just wanted to officially appoint him to this board for the 2024 to 2028 term. And I will, well, commissioners, any questions?
So moved.
Moved? Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Young. What a close third by Commissioner Tindaro. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Welcome,
All right.
Sam.
Sam, thank you so much. Keep up the good work, whatever Helen says. Next on the agenda, Ms. Camp, our township solicitor.
Nothing I do is that exciting, man. So we have a hearing on this ordinance, two different matters here. Amendment to your subdivision land development ordinance to deal with fees. So when somebody files a subdivision or land development application, there's an application fee and there's also an escrow fee. The escrow fee for plan review is to reimburse your consultants, mainly your civil engineer, who reviews the plans and guides you on whether or not the plan's ready to be approved and recorded. After the plan is filed in the recorder of deeds and the developer starts to construct, you also need your engineer to do inspections. And the township is having a little bit of trouble administering those escrows for those inspections, and they were getting where it was really they were having a lot of large balances owed on these bills. So Ray asked me to take a look at your subdivision ordinance, and what we did was in the section dealing with fees, which is 137-13, we split it up as far as calling it two different escrows. One is the plan review escrow, and the second is the inspection fee escrow. So the subdivision ordinance change is just to call out those two different escrows. The second provision in this amendment is to deal with fire hydrants. I think we explained this to you before at the first hearing, that there was a situation where somebody wanted to start building a building, a multifamily building, but the fire hydrants that the land development plan required were not installed yet. And we went to look at the code to make sure that we could stop that. We were able to under the building code. We wanted to make it clear in the SAUDO that you can't start building vertically until you have your fire hydrants. So that's the two purposes of this subdivision land development amendment. The second part of it, that if you were to adopt this, is to amend your fee schedule to specifically call out what those inspection escrows are. Everything else in this fee resolution is currently what you're charging as far as application fees and the plan review escrow. The change is the escrow that we are suggesting the board impose for that inspection component. And Ray and I had still had to talk about what we thought was a reasonable number. So what we are suggesting to you is that if the total cost of the improvements is less than $1 million, then the inspection escrow would be up to a maximum of 15%. It'd be 3% of that number up to a maximum of $15,000. If the improvement cost exceeds $1 million, we're suggesting a flat inspection escrow of $30,000, which seems like a lot of money, but when you have something like picture the hills of Thorndale Woods, they're right now hot and heavy doing development, earth moving, clearing and grading, installing roads, installing stormwater facilities. The inspections in the very beginning are there's a lot. And so those fees, Ray looked at some of the bills that are going out for some of the new developments, and that $30,000 is going to get eaten up pretty quickly. So that was our recommendation. So I know at the last hearing when we explained this, you wanted to hold off on adopting the amendment to the SAUDO until we had a recommendation on the fee number. So they are two different matters, but they go hand in hand. So happy to answer any questions.
And just refresh my memory, the improvements are the public improvements, right? The $1 million, or is it $1 million of development?
It's 110. What the MPC allows you to require a developer to post escrow for is called public and quasi-public. So, for example, if your ordinance requires them to do landscaping or shade trees, stormwater management facilities, roads, any utility work, that's really what you're making them escrow. They're not escrowing for the cost of the home.
Correct. Okay. And then what were the fees prior to this?
We didn't spell it out differently for plan review and inspection. So it just carried over from your plan review escrow, right? There wasn't a set fee for the inspection.
Okay.
Yeah, so the problem was that, like, as an example, the max escrow required from the very beginning, which would cover plan review, all that. The max was, I think, $15,000 or $10,500 actually. I think it was. The problem is, 3/4 of that can get ate up during plan review. So that was where we were finding a problem. Again, during plan review, on these bigger projects, it could be, $5,000 a month for those. And that's never really been an issue with the large developers. But then when we got into inspections and I'll use my place, when they were first doing the roads and doing stormwater, their bills were $6,000 a month or more for several months in a row. Us trying to constantly bill them because their escrow was already depleted. We were trying to get new escrow established. It's just from our perspective, an admin nightmare.
And anything currently in the plan, they wouldn't pay this,
That's
right?
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
we wouldn't go back to somebody that already.
Okay, that's all my questions.
So things that are pending. Things that are pending right now, people with their applications in would not be affected.
No, because the way the law reads is that they get to take advantage of the ordinances that are in effect as of the date that they file their application. So, I mean, we can ask, and we sure can ask, right? And let them push back.
And we probably would, to be honest with you, some that are in, because the inspection escrow doesn't really get evaluated until they're doing their bond.
Mhm.
So there could be times where we would, just as a matter of process, somebody could certainly come back and say, hey, that ordinance wasn't adopted when we started. So I'm just saying we may miss that initially, but they could come back and say, hey, no, that ordinance wasn't adopted at the time.
The other point is to make sure you guys understand is that when somebody goes to record their plan and we require them to sign the financial security agreement and the land development agreement and post the security, they can either post a bond or letter of credit or do a construction reserve with the bank.
Mhm.
We are already requiring them to post a number within that bond that covers inspections and legal fees and things like that.
Mhm.
So they're paying it, but they're paying it through that bond, but that's not liquid cash for you guys to be able to use when you have to pay Arrow's inspection bill. So they're paying it one way or the other. It's just a different way so that you actually have that money to physically pay the bills. So, I mean, it's clear under the law that you are 100% entitled to be charging these reimbursement fees, and everybody knows that. Nobody challenges that. It's just a matter of getting the money up front so that you have that cushion and you're not the one being the bank for that.
And anything that's not used is refunded.
Refund it, absolutely. And they still have the right. The state law has a very good provision on challenging the fees.
Mhm.
So if they believe that the township inspector is, overcharging or saying that they're on site when they weren't,
Mhm.
there's a mechanism for them to challenge those fees, and there's a dispute process that they can go through. So this isn't taking that away by any means.
Are our fees consistent with other municipalities in the county?
Yeah, Jane, we actually looked at a bunch of different ways that municipalities do this. And yeah, the highest that I found was people charging 6% of the estimated cost of improvements. So our number isn't quite as high as that. We went with a 3%. So yeah, this is pretty standard.
Very moderate. Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Let me ask you a
I,
question.
My only concern with that, with anything, with development, well, overdevelopment is another story, but development is, you know, Wawa comes in. They got all the money in the world. A good quality small business wants to come in, you know, and they don't have all the money in the world. So if they're investing $1 million to ask them to,
Yeah, and Mark, that's a good point. And because it's in subdivision land development, you
Mhm.
always have the right to waive it. So
Yes.
we always have the right to have a conversation with somebody and understand their financial hardship
Mhm.
and understand their financial situation. And I'm not saying that you should bend the rules automatically, but at least that you can have a conversation about it. And the law does give you that flexibility to work with the person on that in that circumstance.
thank you for clarifying that, really.
The only thing I would add to that is, and I think Kristen brought it up, is those fees, unless the board waives them, are still going to be there no matter what, to the township.
Right.
Because, as an example, right now it's Arrow, but Arrow goes and does the inspection. Arrow sends us a bill. I process the bill. We pay Arrow. Then we go to the developer and we'll pull against their escrow.
Mhm.
The way it is set up now, almost always their escrow is in the red until the following month. So the only problem is, like I said, when we have a lot of development like we are right now,
Right.
you have multiple of them in the red, even if it's for the month, which means we're in the red for a month.
Gotcha.
More of a cash flow issue.
It is, and we're, we're being the bank for them. So
Exactly.
right now we've really worked out a process, because in the past we've been several $100,000 in the red till we recoup that. Now we have a pretty good process, but it involves two departments and multiple people to keep that, for those checks and balances, to make that happen.
Well, I will reach out to residents, see if anybody here in the township building have any questions on this. I do not see any hands raised, any in Zoom. Well, commissioners, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2023-06.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Tindaro, second by Commissioner Young. All in favor? Aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0. The next resolution was amending the fee, resolution, amending the fees. Resolution 2023-27. Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Tindaro, second by Commissioner Young. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Motion's good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The second hearing was something that Lisa brought to our attention. So, and Josh, thank you for helping me understand this. The township entered an agreement of sale with Pico Energy Company on June 16th, 2022, where the township purchased the streetlights located on township-owned roads. The township intends to install LED lights on the streetlights, which will result in cost savings, and as a result has decided to repeal the streetlight assessments which have previously been adopted. So that streetlight assessment was adopted through an ordinance process. To repeal that ordinance, you have to adopt an ordinance. So this was advertised in the Daily Local News on December 4th, and I sent a copy of the ordinance to the Law Library and the Daily Local on November 27th. So what this does is it repeals the light assessment, which is found in Article 4 of Chapter 134 of the County Code.
Commissioners, any questions?
Just to say, I think it's a good thing that we switched to the LEDs. The savings
great.
is dramatic, and it, with the savings and trying to figure out how they came up with the costs that people get charged, it didn't make sense. And, only some neighborhoods had streetlight fees, and business 30 where businesses are had to pay the streetlight fees. So, other of us who live on other roads have streetlights with it just in the cost of the general fund. So I'm happy that we were able to repeal this and let the residents keep their money.
They look great.
They do.
Really do.
Yeah, you
That's
can
the-
really see the difference when you drive down. I don't know, it's like a clearer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
brighter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
more
Right.
welcoming and
Mhm.
safer.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So,
All right. Questions from commissioners? Any questions here in the township building? I do not see any hands raised from residents. Any in Zoom? Entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2023-09.
So moved.
second.
Oh, look at that. Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0.
And then the last thing is a proposed land development. I do have the engineer Chris Daly here from DL Howe. This is to consider granting final minor land development approval for Brian Hoskins 4 land development. The owner is BJH Properties LP. The property is 2601 East Lincoln Highway. The applicant filed an application seeking to build a 1,935 square foot addition to the existing dealership located on the property I just described. The property has 8.7 acres. They're hoping to expand the existing auto sale facility by building that addition. The township consultant Arrow issued a review letter on November 1st, and the township municipal authority Gilmore and Associates issued a review letter on October 5th, 2023. The Township Planning Commission on November 21st, 2023 recommended that the board grant approval of this plan and also grant a waiver of the requirement for open space, provided that the applicant pay a fee in lieu of open space. So that, I know the minutes were a little bit not clear from the Planning Commission, but the Planning Commission supported the waiver of actually providing the open space on the lot. But as we typically do, we ask the, and as the ordinance allows, we have the developer pay a fee in lieu of providing the open space. And that fee is established at $855 per 1,000 gross square feet of building space. So that would calculate to be $1,654.43. So this motion, the board would be granting approval of the plans. There's a couple conditions. The first one is that they have to comply with all provisions of the ordinances that are relevant, the zoning, the subdivision, and the stormwater. Have to comply with the outstanding comments in the 2 review letters that I mentioned, pay the fee in lieu of open space that I mentioned, execute the form developer agreement, financial security agreement, and post financial security, pay all outstanding consultant fees, provide a digital copy of the plans, record the plans, and that's really all that's what the motion says. I don't know if you want to see a copy of the plan. I think Chris has it available.
Good evening, Chris Daly with Howe Engineering.
Hello.
Chris?
Aye.
Good. Yeah, I'm here tonight. I'm actually here with Brian Hoskins himself. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the location of this property. It's at the corner of Lincoln Highway and Barley Sheaf Road. If you look at the plan in the center, there is a gray shaded area which represents the building addition that's proposed as part of this minor land development application. The addition is just under 2,000 square feet. It's actually going to be constructed over a significant portion of paved area, so the increase in impervious is actually under 1,000 square feet. We had review letters from Arrow and Gilmore. There aren't very many comments, and we have no issue with complying with those comments. So tonight we're here to request the final approval for this application.
Commissioners, any questions?
No.
And you may have just said this, but are you just building on top of the parking lot section, or was there actual grass that you're building on?
It's actually, there's a grass island there now. The grass island's actually going to essentially move to the east. We're going to reconstruct a new island, and most of it's a driveway that's being constructed over. There are a couple parking spaces that are going to be removed, but I did a parking tabulation and it's over parked right now, so it's not going to be an issue with the code.
And this is for electric vehicles.
Yes. Yeah. Brian could add a little bit more to that.
Come on over to the mic.
Come on over.
Yeah,
People on Zoom
virtual
can't
public.
hear you
Yes.
unless you're on mic.
Welcome, Brian.
Thank you. So we are putting, it's driven through because of electric vehicles.
Mhm.
Ford, all the manufacturers are approaching it in a different sense. Ford has required the Ford dealers, if we want to become EV dealers, to basically subscribe and become a separate franchise, pay a fee. Part of what you see up there, I don't know if it's on there, but we're also putting 2 public-facing chargers to be installed that are accessible by the public. Obviously, we can charge up to 4 vehicles at once. And then we are also required to, when we service vehicles, electric vehicles within the shop, we have to provide charging facilities inside the shop. Part of our agreement is that the customer's car leaves with a higher charge than they came in. Of course, everybody wants to know if we're going to fill their gas cars with gas now.
I didn't think that. No,
but
no.
you know, so what has happened is it's caused us to displace some of our work, traditional work and truck work. We need more space, so those vehicles are bigger. So we need to expand and add this addition, put this addition on out back, so that we can move some of that existing work back there, because we have to dedicate like 4 to 6 bays for the electric EV vehicles.
Answers that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. No other questions? None in Zoom? I already asked that. Tony, you have a question? Come on up. Name and address as usual.
Tony DeSario, 251 Loomis Avenue.
Hey, Tony.
What are you doing? I'd like to know what he's doing about the additional flood water that's coming down from the pervious surface.
You do need to come up to the mic.
Yes, because we get flooded now. We get flooded now, and
Mhm.
you know, and additional flood water.
Now this is less than 1,000 square feet. You're
No, we're not putting any stormwater management in because the stormwater ordinance does not require any additional facilities be constructed if the impervious surface is under 1,000 square feet. There are 2 existing underground stormwater facilities that are out there today that are functioning. As part of Arrow's review letter, we need to inspect them to ensure they're functioning properly. So that will be a condition as part of this approval. But the addition is a very minor increase in impervious coverage, so we do not foresee any stormwater management issues with this development.
So Chris, is it your opinion that whatever additional impervious cover would be managed through the existing facilities?
Yes, most likely, I do.
This is being built on impervious surface already, correct?
It is. The driveway right there is already very wide, and like
Right.
I said, the pervious area that's being constructed over is just like a grass island that's there today.
You're essentially just moving the grass island, correct?
Correct. Yeah, but there is still an increase, but it's, you know, it's within the threshold that's allowed in the stormwater ordinance, which is under 1,000 square feet.
yeah. It's a small amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony's neighborhood got flooded pretty bad.
Yes.
So yeah, he's always on the lookout. All right. No other questions from Zoom? There's no other concerns about this. I entertain a motion to approve the final land development plans for Brian Hoskin Ford.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Tendero. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0. Good luck. Thank you so much.
That's all I have. I'm gonna give documents to be signed. Do you, Abby, if that's okay? Am I sticking around?
Sure. Kristen, enjoy your holiday.
Yes.
Holidays.
Yes.
Thank you very much for all your help and work.
And Mr. Hoskins, thank you for continuing to want to do business in Callan.
55 years.
Almost as old as me.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Happy holidays. Thank you.
Let's get through, Ross.
That sounds good.
Yeah, because Ross is probably, right, do we have Ross online? The next on the agenda would be Gilmore and Associates. Welcome, Ross.
Let's see. Do you have me now?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. Yep. So they just promoted me to panelist. So for your consideration this evening, this is relating to the Reed Street project. We have Resolution 2023-29, which is for designating the president of the Board of Commissioners and the township manager to be able to sign documents for the grants awarded from the Commonwealth Financing Authority's Small Water and Sewer Program and H2O program. And so the purpose of this resolution is that in the beginning of the project, only Arrow had been designated to sign these grant-related documents. And so since they're not involved at this time, we needed to get some additional people able to sign the grant paperwork, such as reimbursement.
Makes complete sense. I appreciate you staying on top of that, Ross. So, Commissioners, any questions on this?
No.
I don't think so. Any questions from residents? None at this time in the township building, none on Zoom. All right, entertain a motion to approve resolution 2023-29.
Second.
So moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion's good, 5-0. Ross, good job. What do you got next?
Thank you. Yep. So the next item is actually very closely related to the previous one. So we this is really just an update for you that now that we have that resolution passed, we can get a reimbursement request submitted to the Commonwealth Financing Authority. So the result of that would be a check coming back to the township after that paperwork gets processed, and that would be for around $431,000. So just wanted to give you that update.
I didn't hear that. How much money are we getting back?
For this one, it's $431,000, and there will be more reimbursements as we go forward as well.
Take care, Kathy. All right. Yeah, I like that. That sounds good. Good job
Money.
on that, Ross.
Thank you. Yep. So, and then the next item, still relating to Reed Street, is for the board's consideration to approve payment application number 5 from the contractor, which is Foresight Concepts. And that would be in the amount of $141,866.49. And that is for work completed through December 5th, 2023. And just to give you a brief update, essentially all of the storm piping and sanitary sewer piping is all installed. And where the main things remaining are some curb and paving and some minor cleanup of driveways and grading. So quite a bit of progress has been made.
All right, Commissioners, any questions on this? At this time, residents? Do not see any hands raised here, none in Zoom world. All right, entertain a motion to approve the payment application number 5 in the amount of $141,866.49.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Tindera, second by Commissioner Kennedy. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion's good, 5-0. Thanks so much, Ross.
Thank you.
We kind of did it for you this evening. So happy holidays. I know I'll see you on Monday.
That's right. Yes, I'll see you then. Have a great holiday, everyone.
You
you.
too.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yes. Happy
Take care,
holidays.
Ross. Did you want to jump?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we, since we do have some folks from the fire department here, wanted to jump to the budget hearing and public presentation. And then we can just go with the budget, just in case there's any questions with the, for the fire department.
Purple.
No, we're just kind of moving, not changing or adding. Right. Yes. yeah,
Okay.
Lisa, take the floor.
Good evening. This is a public hearing being conducted to consider the adoption of ordinance 2023-07 in order to establish the 2024 real estate tax rate set at 4.088 mils, the fire protection tax rate at 0.88 mils, indebtedness tax rate at 0.44 mils, and establishing the EMS tax at 0.2 mils. If you remember from the presentation, there was a slight increase on the fire protection tax rate, and again, establishing the EMS tax as a new one for 2024. The calculation, as a reminder, for the annual tax bill is calculated based on the established property assessment value at a rate of 1 mil per 100. Questions on the floor or in Zoom world?
No, can we get like an overview of the budget itself? Or I guess we can start with questions, and if we need to drill down, we can do that. I know it's been advertised, it's been on public display in front of the office here. So why don't we go that route? Commissioners, any questions on the budget? Okay, residents here in the township building, do we have any questions on the budget? And not at this time here. How about Zoom? See Mark? Yes, Mark.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Mark Fox, 256 Thornridge.
Hi,
So
welcome,
is-
Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, how you guys doing? If there's going to be this dedicated tax for the fire, does that mean we don't have to pay Minquist for a subscription, annual subscription?
Mark, that's for the EMS. Minquist, Thorndale Fire Company is fire, but Minquist is your ambulance service, and I'll let them talk about what a membership does if they want to, but there still would be a membership ask, I believe, but I'll let them explain that to you.
And we have a representative from Minquist here.
Matt Wagner, Assistant Chief of Minquist EMS.
Welcome.
So, right, so our membership is separate from specific to Callan Township, right? Our membership is basically a discounted donation with the prices being set at $75 for a single, 110 for a family, and then 50 for a senior, and 65 for a senior family. What that does is that covers any costs outside the whatever insurance pays, right? So it would be your ambulance bill would be submitted to the insurance, and whatever insurance doesn't pay, whether it be Medicare, whether it be a supplement, whether it be any other commercial insurance, what have you. After those resources are exhausted, the remainder of the bill is essentially wiped. So one thing we didn't discuss was the EMS tax in lieu of a membership, but that's something that we could potentially look at in the future. Just for
Can
this
you,
calendar year.
yeah, can you just explain, so for people that haven't been involved in it, how just your costs on an ambulance, when I don't think people realize, if they've never taken an ambulance before, that basically the ambulance ride is especially if it's Medicare or Medicaid, you're actually losing money every time that you do a run.
With today's so a brief insight into some of the costs. A truck is anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000 for the ambulance, and it does run. It's a busier vehicle than a fire apparatus. So, I mean, I think our average mileage right now on our trucks, it's a 2019, it's like 70 or 80,000 miles on a commercial Ford chassis. On top of that, you're looking at $38,000 for a heart monitor, with prices on medications anywhere from a small vial of glucagon for diabetics, that's a $500 vial, to epinephrine for cardiac arrest or what have you, or allergic reactions. That's anywhere from $40 to $60 for a vial or pre-filled syringe. And then you get into the Medicare, which is a large contingent of our payer base. Our charge is roughly $1,800 to $2,200 for an ALS call. Medicare is contractually allowed to give us $600, and there's times where they pay us $136. And as part of the agreement with Medicare, if we don't accept what they give us, we don't get anything. So on a lot of these calls, we are going out the door, transporting to the hospital, continuing to service to the level we can, doing what's right for our patients. But at the end of the day, on the back end, we are operating at a negative on a lot of these calls.
Hence, that's why we're doing the EMS tax. And a lot of townships are.
Yeah, the goal of the EMS tax is to help maintain the system we have currently. Without that, Minquist may not be able to operate going forward. So our goal as a board was to make sure that we stabilize the system we have now. Should something happen to Minquist, the rest of the system most likely could not handle the call volume that Cowan Township has. So it was, we felt an obligation to make sure that the system we have works, the system we have is stable, and that we don't overwhelm the system.
And just to get back to Mark Fox's original point, with the membership, that's more like an insurance at that point for the residents as far as
Correct.
any
It's
additional cost.
It's a tax.
The tax.
It's a tax deductible donation.
Mhm.
That's the word. It's a tax deductible donation that essentially acts as a third party insurance. We keep a list of with our billing company as to who donated, and then they simply know that, okay, well, this person's a member. Once insurance is exhausted, the rest of the bill is taken care of.
Mark, does that kind of answer your question there?
Well, yeah, it does. I guess appreciate all the hard work that the Minquist team does to serve the community. It's, you hear more sirens every day, but maybe we should look at getting more money up front from some developers for the extra impact of the emergency, the strain on the system from all the new development, and instead of maybe counting on all the residents just to bear the extra burden, because it's a tax increase on not the $65 for Minquist, but the 0.2 difference from 0.6 last year, I think, to 0.88 this year, plus an extra 0.2. So you added a mill, right? You added almost a mill, I think, to the tax rate. Now it's an essential service, I get that, but tax still went up.
We didn't raise taxes at all last year, right? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So this year is just the fire tax and the EMS tax.
Well,
Oh, just.
Well, and also the sewer and
the
trash.
sewer and trash is a
Fortunately.
$10 bi-monthly increase.
Yeah, for my one bag that I put out every week, so that's good. Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Did I see a couple more hands raised?
Commissioner, if I can just add to that, back to Mr. Fox's comment, unfortunately, fire and EMS impact fees are not legal in Pennsylvania. You can do that for police, but you can't do them for fire or
developments you're
EMS.
talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark, you there?
Yes,
All right.
Mark
just
Young,
name and-
20
name
Beaver
and
Run
address.
Road. Just
Perfect.
wondering what the average per taxpayer is. Household?
Oh, the average increase for the
Yes.
EMS tax and the fire? Yeah, we do have that. Okay. Yeah, give Lisa a second.
Okay.
EMS is 100% as a total.
Well, we came out with a rough average when we were doing the budget.
Yeah, they want to know what it is per average per household.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah, you have it on the spreadsheet somewhere.
Average increase for fire
For-
would be about $27.
He's asking for EMS.
Well, and both. No, I think he
EMS.
asked for both. 27 for fire,
uh,
And-
about 30
30 for EMS?
on $150,000. Sorry, hear that?
Yeah.
50 cents.
So 27 for fire, 30 for EMS
Correct.
on an average home?
Yeah,
And Mark, does that answer your question?
kind of high.
Yes, I just wanted to know the numbers. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Mark.
No problem.
Thank you.
We have one other hand raised. All right, well, we do have two here in the room. Alicia, you want to come on up? Happy holidays, Alicia.
Leisha Carini, 103 Airwood Drive. So I hate to beat a dead horse, but when we talk about taxes, I always have to ask about the distribution between our municipal taxes and our school taxes. So, Lisa, I don't expect you to have this readily available, but I would love to see what our township is paying to the schools versus municipal overall for the township. And then what is the average of increases in the school taxes we've seen over the past 10 years? Because I know since I've been here, since I built the house in 2016, I've had, I've gone from probably 11,000 to 15,000, and I think it's been mostly because of the schools. So,
Absolutely. And I
yeah.
apologize. You asked that question last time, and I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
I emailed it to you, but maybe I got the wrong email address.
Not at all. And this is absolutely not to call anybody out here. This is just to make
No
a
worries.
point. I like to follow up with the residents so that we understanding where our tax dollars are going. To me, it's minimal what we're doing with the municipality, with our police, fire, EMS versus what the school is really getting from us. So
Absolutely right.
And I know there was a slide, I think Chris and Denny actually had it, that showed what we paid overall for the township, the distribution. I think it's like an 80-20 ratio, actually. I'm not sure.
5%.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So
It-
anyway, that was all I wanted to say. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Alicia.
Thank you, Lisa.
Tony, did you want to come on up again? Microphone. We love to hear your voice, Tony.
Area 251 Loomis. I just want to know if there was grant money that the state can get for the ambulance service, or the is there grant money they can get?
But I mean, I can answer that unless Matt wants to answer. But they do apply for grants for the equipment and the vehicles that they can get. For the service, there's no grants for the service they provide now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
No other hands raised, no other questions?
Just before we vote on that, I just wanted to acknowledge the directors and the Mr. Mullen for all of our hard work to putting this together. It isn't an easy feat. Lisa has a binder probably as thick as the desk here, but everybody did a wonderful job. And it was a little bit tough year, so it was they did a great job. And, it's never easy to raise taxes, but the board as a whole, this board believes that fire, police, and EMS are non-negotiables. They're absolutely necessary to a safe and healthy township. So that is where we are. And believe me, every time we meet, I ask the staff, what about Mrs. Jones who lives on Municipal Drive? How do we make sure that she's not forced out of her home? And Mrs. Jones is just a fictional character, but how does she maintain her home on a fixed income? But at the same time, provide Mrs. Jones with the best service and, all of the life safety that comes with that. So thank you to all the staff who worked hard to put this together, and Mr. Mullen.
Josh, thank you. I led the whole group. He is incredible. He knows budget inside and out. So I leaned a lot on Josh's knowledge and experience with this. So, we really appreciate that, Josh.
Thanks.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, can entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 2023-08.
Oh, 07.
Where's the 7?
yeah,
Oh,
fine.
I'm sorry. I'm jumping down. 2023-07, establishing the rates. Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0. And, entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 2023-08, adopting the 2024 budget for all funds.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Tindaro. All in favor? Say aye.
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 And just, I'm sorry, one last thing. Thank you to both Minquist and Thorndale Fire Company for their efforts as well, and for joining us tonight in case there was any questions.
And we like to throw this out. They always show up. They always show up. The amount of people who volunteer to run into buildings now has gone way down. But the calls keep going up, and they keep showing up. They need our support in every way possible. Thank you again.
Let's jump back to building and life and safety. Mr. Stackhouse, you had a couple items on your list?
Yes, sir. Thank you. The first one's a request for board consideration to approve and authorize the township manager and or board president to sign Gilmore and Associates PSA number 2308020 and documents associated with the Humpton Farms Drainage Improvements Project to reduce flooding in their neighborhood for the not to exceed amount of $133,000. This was a project that was identified post Ida. That was, part of the bond that we pulled. We originally had an estimate of that work for $434,980. So far, we've spent on engineering, we've spent $30,020 between 2022 and 2023. So I'm sorry, the original estimate was $465,000. We still have $434,980 left. This PSA is for not to exceed 113, and as part of the PSA, it basically would get us to bid ready, meaning the last item would be prepare an opinion of probable cost based on final design plans and specifications. It does not include bidding or construction support. We would have to amend this PSA or get a different one after that. But this is basically to do additional design to come up with a plan how to, and the project, to be more specific, is Humpton, Lynn, Humpton. So it's the drainage way that goes underneath those roads in the Humpton Farms development and the stream banks associated in that area.
You said 113. Did you mean 133?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
And that floodplain area, is that through residents' homes, their yards and whatnot?
It's through the yards. There's no real homes in that area that happen to be in that floodway, but through the yards, yes.
Okay.
It's worth adding that there's been significant erosion of the stream banks through that whole development.
So they're aware of that, residents?
Yeah, they're well aware.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions on this?
No, I have no question.
I know we can feel secure with Gilmore and Associates, right, Ross? You're back.
I appreciate that, Paul.
I said that not even knowing you were there. Look at that.
Must have really meant it.
All right. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that was a great summary from Ray, so I don't have anything to add at this time.
Okay. You're good. Residents here in the township, any questions? Ray's awesome. He truly is. Look at that. Standing ovation there. No hands raised here. Any in Zoom?
Yeah.
Nope. All right. Entertain a motion to approve and author. The PSA 2308020 in the amount of $133,000.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Tindaro, second by Commissioner Kennedy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's good, 5-0.
The second one is a similar request for a different project. Request for board consideration to approve and authorize the township manager and or board president to sign Gilmore and Associates PSA number 23080019 and documents associated with the stream banks and culverts for Beaver Creek tributary at Geo Carlson Boulevard project for the not to exceed amount of $116,060. This project was identified during post-IDA as well. Now this drainage area, those homes were affected. Several of the homes were affected. One in particular, the gentleman had just settled on the house the day before Ida, and you know his house was flooded. His pool was filled with rock and debris. So, and it's not the first time that area had been affected. Same thing. We have a series of 8 pipes that go under Gerald Carlson in that area, and the stream banks, both upstream and downstream, are just eroding away. So additional evaluation and design of that project need done, and this is a similar PSA, basically to get to bid ready. Now, it is probably worth mentioning, you know, once we get to that point, we'll have to see if we actually have enough funding to complete those projects, or have to go for additional funding, you know, through grants or whatever, which are part of Ross's PSA to explore some of those options.
Commissioners, any questions on this? Residents here in the township building? None at this time? Zoom? Entertain a motion. Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Motion's good, 5-0. Hey, Ross, you got plenty of work to do.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
For everything, Ross.
Are you leaving this time?
Yeah, I think I'll take off this time.
Okay. All right. Well,
Good night.
happy holidays. See you on Monday.
You too. See ya. Bye.
All right. Hey, we haven't seen this in a while. Township manager.
All right. Well, thank you. I have a fairly straightforward action item. This is board consideration to authorize the advertisement of the 2024 township meeting schedule, meeting dates. No changes from the current schedule. The Historical Commission will meet the third Wednesday of each month. Municipal Authority the fourth Monday of each month. Planning Commission third Tuesday. Parks and Rec first Monday of each month, and the Zoning Hearing Board the first Thursday of the month at 7 p.m.
Commissioners, any questions on the dates?
Good
Pretty
to me.
standard. All right, residents here in the township building, any questions on the dates? It's the same schedule, just a different year. All right, none in Zoom world? All right, commissioners, entertain a motion to authorize the advertisement of our
So
meeting
moved.
dates. Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Tindaro. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Motion. Oh, Jane, what happened to your voice?
Aye.
I don't know. It's getting tougher and tougher as the evening goes on.
I do hope you feel better.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
all right, motion's good, 5-0. All right, next we have ordinance and resolutions consideration. Who wants to speak about this? Or do I get that?
No.
Updating the designation of signatories for the Count Township Police Pension Plan. I think we had a list of names.
Yes. It allows you, Paul, myself, Jane Kennedy, and Don to sign for the pension.
Okay.
Okay.
Commissioners, any questions on that? Residents? At this time, okay. Entertain a motion to approve resolution 2023-28.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0. Moving on, minutes to approve. Board of Commissioner minutes for November 16th. Commissioners, any questions, changes?
No.
If not, entertain a motion to approve. I do not see anything highlighted.
No, I didn't either.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Tindaro. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Jane, was that an aye? Is she still there?
Looked like she popped off.
She dropped the ball. We'll do a 4-0
4-0.
until she gets back on. Right, acknowledgement, excuse me, in minutes, moving right along here, for the board, the receipt of September 19th, 2023 Planning Commission minutes. Entertain a motion to acknowledge.
So moved.
Moved?
They meet, or was it the
Second.
October one they canceled?
It was October.
Second.
Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Still just 4-0. Finance report. Ms. Swan,
Great.
you got all the hard stuff out of the way with the budget.
Yeah.
All the pleasant stuff.
All downhill now.
Let's hope not.
All the people who didn't like the budget are waiting to get on later. They're in for a surprise.
The finance report has been placed in your packet. If there's any questions, I can entertain those. I am happy to report that we are doing really well with our expenses. I have to commend the directors in really tightening the belt as much as they could this year. I don't have year end, but I'm estimating that we hope to add about 500,000 to 750,000 to the fund balance at the end of 2023. I think, adds to the healthy balance that we have right now.
Good.
Unless there's any questions on that.
Commissioners, any questions?
No.
Good.
And then I think we did all of those. So we just have the bills list, general checks, and the manual check. Questions there?
Commissioners, any, excuse me, any questions on the bill list?
Bills look good.
I did have a question. I'm sorry. I should have shot you an email earlier too. Emergency vehicle service, emergency lighting for DeVita. Wanted some
Check number
clarification on
RU.
that.
Yeah, that's for one of the codes vehicles. That he's also a responder. All three of our fire marshal, code enforcement officers are also respond to emergency calls with the fire department. So those vehicles have response lights.
Okay. And DeVita, what does that stand for?
That's his name. I know it's a little weird. but
Oh, okay, okay. So
His
it's-
name's Mark DeVita. He's one of the part-time.
Now he's forever in our minutes.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that happened. But I will let him know tomorrow.
Okay. I thought it was a company or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it came. Sorry about that. I'm not
No,
sure.
no.
It should have been Tenney Emergency Services.
Okay. Good answer. Hey, commissioners, any other questions?
No.
I think I'm good. Entertain a motion to approve the check run, 51,126 to 51,246 with a manual check at 297.
So moved.
Moved. Second. Moved by Commissioner Tindera, second by Commissioner Young. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Oh, We're back to 5-0. Welcome back, Jane.
Aye.
Yep.
What's that? Hey, come on up, Tony.
Walk.
Yes, Tony.
On the second page on the
Tony
bottom.
DeSario.
Tony DeSario, 251 Loomis Avenue.
Thank you.
On the bottom, the second page, has Beaver Creek Trail, and Spackman Davis Farm. On the second page, Paul, on the bottom.
Check,
What was the Spackman Davis? What was,
51145?
when was that, what was it for?
Oh, it's under Gilmore Associates.
Yeah.
I would assume engineering. Do
I
we
think
have
that's for the
clarification?
roof.
Right.
When was that brought to the board, or when was that approved?
I want to say October or September.
Earlier, I thought.
Cut in November, so it would be October.
Abby, is this covered by the grant that you got?
Not for the Spackman farm roof. This was the like structural analysis and engineering that they were going to do to replace the roof on the farmhouse.
Okay.
But the Beaver Creek Trail.
Farmhouse or the barn?
The farmhouse
Not the
itself.
barn.
We already did the
The
barn.
barn.
Yeah. So for the farmhouse, and I'll find it for you, Tony.
And I believe
the-
that was
the
from money
Beaver
that
Creek
was
Trail- sorry.
already in the budget from last year. right?
Correct. That's true. We had budgeted money for the upkeep of the farmhouse itself in the 2023 budget. So we just took it out of that budget item.
Just took it out.
Well, no, they
Okay.
voted on it. One second.
Yeah, we voted on it.
It
I
was
thought you
voted
were
on.
here that night.
I don't, I had to be here that night, huh? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay.
We were done with the vote, right? All right, next on the agenda, oh, the meat and potatoes.
Oh, boy.
We're here to the meat and
Director's
potatoes,
reports.
director's report. First off, Police Chief Elias.
Hello again, thank you. So in the fiscal year 24 budget, we had asked the board to approve 2 police officer positions. But we didn't have an official eligibility list, and our hiring processes are guided by civil service rules. Just want to take a minute to recognize Mr. March. He's in the audience tonight. He's chair of the Civil
Alright.
Service Commission.
Welcome.
They volunteer their time and they devote a lot of it, George especially, so I just publicly want to thank him. So the police department, in cooperation with civil service, advertised and tested this fall. Testing consists of physical agility, written, oral exam. Those that get beyond that go through an extensive background and polygraph process, and then we formulate an eligibility list of successful applicants. The commission met on Monday night this week. They officially adopted that eligibility list, and in accordance with the rules, they certified a sufficient number of names for board consideration this evening. And we met in executive session to discuss that. So without further ado, I guess I will pass the baton to you on this.
All right. So as the chief had stated, on December 11th, Civil Service Commission, George, held a public meeting to formally approve and adopt the police applicant eligibility list, which followed months of applicant testing and background investigations. During their public meeting, the commission also certified names on the list in rank order for this board's hiring consideration. In accordance with civil service rules, 4 names were submitted to the Board of Commissioners to select 2 to fill the vacancies in the police department. Prior to the start of tonight's meeting, we met in executive session to review the police applicants who were certified and presented to the Board of Commissioners for hiring consideration. We will need 2 motions this evening. We have 2 names on the list. Eric Himmel, is it?
Himmel.
Himmel, okay. And Derek Geisler.
Geisler.
Commissioners, any questions on the list? The names chosen?
No.
Very impressive.
Yes. And then, excuse me. All right, so first, we need make a motion to approve the Civil Service Commission's official eligibility list.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Tindaro. And second, we need a motion to authorize the Chief of Police to extend conditional offers of employment to the police applicants Eric Himmel, and Derek Geisler.
So
Geisler.
moved.
Hold on,
So moved.
you have one motion on the floor. You have to vote on that before you move on to making a second motion. So you have a motion on the floor
Oh,
to.
I didn't take a vote?
No.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah, he keeps me in check. Yes, George, you have a comment? Correct.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, good call. Can we amend that agenda item if
Okay.
needed? Just make sure it's a typo?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Yeah, motion's good, 5-0. Thanks, Josh. Second motion, authorize the chief of police to extend conditional offers of employment to the two
So moved.
candidates.
Second.
Moved by
Second.
Commissioner, second by Commissioner Kennedy. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion's good, 5-0. All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Still more testing to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Medical.
That's good.
Drug tests, psychological. In the home stretch, though. Thank you. So just one other thing. Abby's going to help me with this. Only take.
Here's
This week, public enemy number one for Christmas was seen in the township. Fortunately. So starting tomorrow, our residents can go on the police department Facebook page and for the next 7 days help the police department track the Grinch at various locations throughout the township. And the winner will be eligible for a $100 gift card if we catch him before Christmas.
Wow. I'll catch him for you.
Unfortunately, township employees, elected officials are well, I'll leave it. So,
Disqualified.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But you can help, Jane.
This is a
You can
lot
help
of
get
right.
the kids out there.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Because remember, there's 3 words to describe the Grinch. Stink, stank,
Stunk.
stunk.
Yeah. I mean, we are committed to public safety, and you know,
Oh, that's funny.
it's a concern. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's good.
Very good.
and on that note, I'm done.
All right. Thank you. I want to see that culprit in handcuffs.
You, well, we all do, sir.
That's terrible.
Gotta save Christmas.
All right. All right, next on the agenda, Fire Department, Chief Taylor. Patrick, welcome.
Good evening. Before, I just want to obviously thank all the support from the board. I know going back to the tax discussion, it's not easy. Number one being the fire department requesting a tax increase, but I just appreciate the support of the board, finance department, Ray, and everybody. I myself am also a township resident, single income, so it affects me just as much. And so it is a tough decision, but just like Commissioner Evans said, when you call us on your worst day, time, whatever, you expect us to be there, and we want to continue providing that high quality service to Cowan Township. So I just want to thank you very much. On some more positive news, We did attend a graduation for one of our newer interior firefighters on Tuesday night, who successfully completed it's probably a little over 200 plus hour entry level fire program that started in September and obviously culminated Tuesday night. So very, very happy to add yet another firefighter to our crew. And it was very, very nice to see all the other 22 candidates from other Chester County stations. And it was kind of, again, goes back to the fire company and things like that, of the public speaker basically addressed and said the fire department these days have to be a jack of all trades. We have to not only be a firefighter, we have to be a car mechanic, an electrician, a plumber, which I'm getting my fair share of plumbing calls lately. It's crazy, but we're expected to do everything, because when you call 911, whether it's police, fire, EMS, or even public works for that matter, we got to come fix whatever situation. Other news, we did hold, we escorted Santa around again on Saturday. As Commissioner Kennedy, 8 a.m. we're blaring our sirens, waking everybody up. But it's always a great event to see the smiling faces of kids, adults, everybody.
And dogs.
Yes, and dogs. Although we did have 2 dogs that were not happy to see our folks.
Really?
We did have 2 little minor incidents. But
Not my
everybody else
dogs.
behaved. So I don't know if it was the Grinch's dogs or not, but
I believe so.
all right. But yeah, it's always a great event. Probably one of the events we look forward to throughout the entire year. Through all the negative, it's great to see the positivity on everybody's faces. Yeah, we're looking forward to 2024. More big things. More big things happening for the fire company. So we're looking forward to it. So, any questions regarding my report?
Patrick, thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Happy holidays to you.
All right. Man who does half our township here, Mr. Stackhouse.
Just
Public
a-
Works, Building Life and Safety.
Oh my gosh.
Just a couple
Air duct
highlights,
checking,
Commissioner.
inspecting.
So obviously, all you have to do is drive through the commercial district to see, all the work, all the good things that are going on in town. It's funny. I had one of the representatives from the water company contacted me the other day. I hadn't talked to him in a couple months, and he was just mentioning that. So it was nice to hear, somebody from the outside that travels all around Chester County saying, you guys got a lot going on. So. For projects, the residential projects, so Willows at Valley Run, building 1 is full. That's a 12-unit building. I believe that's full. And building 3 now has some tenants in it. So as they build them and get UNOs, they're actually filling those. Unfortunately, my place, no tenants there. I believe they're having some issues with getting interest in those apartments or townhomes. We are scheduled next week to do a UNO for one of the apartment buildings, and maybe the apartment buildings will start filling up, so we're looking at that. Several things on the planning commission agenda for next week, as far as land development, the farmhouse, Jeffers, and Allfill. All 3 of those will be back in front of the planning commission. The review letters are all pretty clean. So, they probably have a good chance of moving forward to the commissioners the following month. Civil service, you talked about civil service. Actually, I had a chance to meet with the director of the Civil Service Commission and Chief Elias. Obviously, we'll have to amend the civil service documents to incorporate firefighters for when we start that process. So we're actively looking, at how to do that cooperatively. I've been working with Chief Taylor on the transition of the part-time staff that the fire company has now to township employees. We're ready to hit the ground running tomorrow. I'll push the button to start making that happen. Thank you to Chief Elias for running some of those checks on those current employees, just to formally make them township employees. We've been working, myself, the new manager, Paul and Josh have been working with a multi-municipal group about EMS service provision. We've had several meetings. Those meetings have been positive, and we continue to work with them. The subgroup had a meeting with those individuals earlier this evening for a couple hours, and again, positive information coming out of that and cooperation. Continue to work with FEMA. I did have a call from FEMA last week about some more information about Municipal Drive Bridge. Again, they're evaluating all of our projects for additional hazard mitigation funds, hopefully to increase what the reimbursement they'll give us. So I'm still hopeful maybe in the third year post IDA to get some reimbursement from that. From a public works perspective, with the help of Abby, Public Works crew installed a post and rail fence in the open space out here behind the township building, specifically in the area to kind of separate where the open space area is and where people's backyards are. Gerald Carlson Bridge, you probably noticed there's a project going on Gerald Carlson right in the area of James Buchanan. That was another post-IDA project that was identified post-IDA. They're hoping to get a lot of work done next week, and that should only be a 3 or 4 week project to reinforce that culvert. Leaf collection, I have on here, began, actually it ended at the end of the month. Again, there'll probably be a little bit of follow-up on that because a lot of the leaves didn't drop, early. So, but the guys, as usual, did a really, I think, a good job and tried to keep up on it. That's all I have.
There's no leaves on my property because they're all in my gutter. So that's where they all fell.
Hey, Ray.
Yes.
Are they going to still put those security bands on the municipal bridge guardrails? You know where those gaps are between.
Yes, ma'am. They did that.
They did. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, they extended those to within like 4 inches of the bridge wall.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Ray, I just wanted to say, I don't know if anyone's noticed, and I hope I'm right about this. The Willows Valley Run, they built a bridge for.
Oh yeah, that's to take people over to the other building. Yeah.
Get to the second.
It actually is amazing. Actually, it is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Yep. And I had a question. I suspect this was a typo, and I'm sorry. I just noticed it during the meeting, or I would have reached out to you personally. Under zoning applications.
This is on Arrows.
This is on
right?
Arrow's report,
Yeah.
right? Says Wild Meadows Arrow conditional approval November 16th, 2023.
Yeah, no, they're talking about, so there were 2 projects. It was probably poorly worded, but
yeah,
there was 2 projects, and I think I did bring this to the board's attention. If I didn't, I apologize. So you do know there's an aqua project going on.
Yes.
So as part of that aqua project, 2 things. Aqua had to get, or their contractors had to get a permit for a laydown area.
Yes.
On Wild Meadows property.
Right.
The second part, in conjunction, but we made them get a second permit for soil stockpile.
Mm-hmm.
The Wild Meadows wanted some of the soil from that project, and they're going to stockpile soil there for future use. So we made them get 2 permits on the same property, and there's probably wording so we could keep those 2 separate besides the permit numbers.
Thank you. That was very well explained.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right. Next we have Minquist Fire Company. Thanks for coming.
Oh yeah.
Again, Matt Wagner, Assistant EMS Chief.
Yes. I'm sorry. We had a hand raise?
It went away.
Oh. Well, I'll do questions at the end. Usually I try to get through the directors.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
I just want to echo Chief Taylor's words. Obviously, raising taxes is hard, but winning a new tax is difficult as well. And you guys are kind of really the pioneers of the EMS tax, and at least in our coverage area, in our local, and we generally appreciate it. Myself, Derek, and the other assistant chief, we've been kind of tag teaming this whole mess. And then the rest of our leadership team, and all of our EMTs, AEMTs, and paramedics, and we genuinely appreciate you guys. So call data for Callan Township: 159 calls in the month of November, 90 transported to Chester County Hospital, 33 to Paoli, 1 to Phoenixville, and 1 to Pottstown. Average dispatch to en route time is 1.9 minutes, with a total call time of 74.8. Since the closure of Brandywine, that's been sitting about that. It's waving up and down depending on seasonal illnesses and stuff like that, and some recent COVID outbreaks that are kind of coming back down. Of those 159 calls, 56 were transported ALS, 71 BLS, 10 were no services, 14 were treated and refused transport, 4 were recalled en route, 1 was recalled on scene, 1 patient refused care, 2 were public assists, and 1 unfortunate was a person who had expired on scene that was beyond resuscitative efforts. That is all I have for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update. Last but not least, Ingleside Golf Course. Nicole.
Nicole.
So good to see you.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Nicole.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you to the board and all the other directors. I've been here about 8 months now, and your help and support has been awesome. A lot of awesome things going on at the golf course. Right now, we, despite the struggle we had this year, or the apparent struggle, we met and then exceeded our revenue anticipation, which is nice. So that's good to hear. And going forward now, agronomically, we've stopped. There's nothing going on but cleaning up some leaves, and maybe filling some holes with dirt. But there's no grass growing, so we're not mowing right now. But we are working as hard as ever, planning and developing things for next year, including a newsletter for just the golf course that will go out in email blasts to everyone on our email list. We are building that email list because this time of year, a lot of renewals for our members. We're giving them all calls, personalizing the whole thing, trying to get as many members back in the fold for next year. And they should be excited because we have 55 brand new golf carts.
Woo! Yes! No, I'm sorry. We have to stand up for that.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Finally.
Merry Christmas.
All right.
Yay.
Was the Grinch in one of them?
I did not
Don't
see
give
you.
him no ideas, Mark.
So yeah, they arrived.
That is such good news.
All 55 of them in good condition. Initially, they were set up to go way too fast, so we had the technician come out and slow them all down for us. We're only using about 25 of them right now. We're saving the rest to be fresh for next year. We just don't have the volume this time of year. But the feedback from the members and golfers has been nice to hear. They're happy. Most of them are just a sigh of relief that it's finally here. And they're beautiful. They are. They're good-looking carts, and they function better, and they're more efficient fuel-wise. So all around going to be great. Going from 40 carts to 55 carts is an immediate surge in revenue. For us, we'll be able to actually fill the golf course with golfers. So we're excited about that. It also gives us a really good opportunity to offer advertising in the carts. So we will be reaching out to local businesses to get their names in the cart. We average 130 golfers a day. That's a lot of people to see your ad, to see your company. So we will be plugging away at that. yeah, holiday sales going on. We're offering deals on gift cards. You get an extra $5 for every $50 you spend in gift cards. We have 20% off sales across the pro shop. Golf bags are on sale. Shoes are on sale. Everything's on sale. That's about it. Yeah, I can't. Everyone's still working very hard over there. And this week has been a little hectic. I'm interviewing people for open positions at the golf course as well, both in the maintenance department and the pro shop department. So between that and developing this newsletter and getting our 2024 marketing plan in motion, we're very busy and excited and optimistic.
You have our full support.
I appreciate it.
Great.
Really
Thank
do.
you.
And our optimism as well.
Yes.
Great.
So,
It's been a great year.
Thank you.
yes, it is.
Thank you,
Nicole, thank you so
Thank you.
much. Well, before additional business, and I think we did have a hand raised, so we will take questions for directors' reports.
Mrs. Spalding.
Ms. Cheryl.
Hi, how are you? Ray mentioned that Miller at Wild Meadows asked for a permit for dirt on the Lloyd farm. Did he explain what the dirt was for?
No, the response was that they had the opportunity with the work going on with the Aqua project to get dirt, and they knew, or his comment was that they would know in the future if they develop the property, they will need fill, so they seized that opportunity.
I'm aware there's a 35-foot sinkhole in the land, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what they were hoping for. If they
There
want
is, to sell it. There's a quarry. It's not it's not a sinkhole, there's a quarry. That's fine, but I don't know that I'd be happy to see him pile it up. If he wants to dump it in the quarry, there is a quarry. Do you have any control over that?
Well, unfortunately, people are allowed to stockpile soil. My hope we would control how high that becomes and where that's located. Currently, that location is on that access drive where the laydown area is at this point. So control about letting them do it is probably not something we can do. Control about how high it gets and the location is something we have been trying to control, yes.
Well, the quarry is directly next to where they're working, where they're putting its stuff right now. It's just where all those trees are. That is the quarry.
Then maybe we're
Maybe we'll
solid.
drop it in there.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go.
Am I correct? He's come in for nothing else? We haven't heard anything else from him.
No, not at all. And my questions related to that permit on, if anything else is brewing, have gone unanswered.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Happy holidays.
You too.
You have one more.
Yep, go ahead. Wait a minute, Tony.
Mark DeYoung. Oops.
Just Mark.
Hello again, Mark DeYoung, 20 Beaver Run Road. Nicole, great to hear news about the golf course. I want to get on one of those golf carts, and I hear it's going to be about 55 degrees at some point in time this weekend, so you might see me this weekend. So that's great news. Question for Ray. Ray, is there Aqua put a water main right down the middle of Lloyd Avenue? Is that what's going on there?
Yeah, some spots it's in the middle, some it's on the left, some it's on the right. That's correct.
Okay. That's all. I just wanted to ask. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Yes, Tony, come on up to the mic.
Tony DeSario, 251 Loomis Avenue. I have a question on the affordable low-income housing, the Willows over here. Is the VA relocating VA patients down there?
I thought low income.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
affordable.
Yeah.
Affordable housing.
No, not that I'm aware. No. You know, the VA, obviously, the VA has a voucher program, and those voucher programs are active in multiple rentals across Cowan Township. To my knowledge, that's not a voucher program that's going on at the Willows.
Okay.
Tony, you had to apply and be accepted. So I was told the first weekend that they opened the application process, they had more than 400 applicants for that.
People, I think, thought it was going to be free, I guess, but somebody came to me and told me that somebody from the VA is living there and the VA pays the rent.
And that could be, there's no rules or regulations. That's not my understanding, but I mean, that certainly could happen now or in the future, and there's no regulations about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
No other questions on the director's report? All right. Any additional business? Yes, George, come on up.
Yes, thank you. You heard reference by Mr. Stackhouse to the fact that he is working with the Civil Service Commission to bring firefighter language into the Civil Service rules. Also, in the First Class Township Code and the rules of the Civil Service Commission, it provides for the Board of Commissioners to name as many as 3 alternates to the Civil Service Commission. Currently, there is 1, and what we had spoken about at the Civil Service Commission earlier this week was, now that we're going to be bringing firefighter language into that, we are going to propose to the Board of Commissioners that they add additional alternates to the Civil Service Commission, those who would have firefighter experience and expertise, so that we could work, hand in hand as well as we could when the firefighter language is brought in. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Excellent idea. Thank you, George. All right, public comment at this time. Here in the township, any on Zoom?
I just have a comment for you.
Yes.
If we're all done with public comment?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Obviously, this is our last meeting of the year. Want to thank all of the staff here in the work in this building, the building next door, and down back, as well as all the volunteers who serve on our committees. They put in hundreds of hours worth of work and don't get any compensation for that. So I want to thank them. I want to give especially a thanks to the directors over the last year who have helped hold this place together while we were without a manager. You guys did an amazing job, and we're forever grateful for what you did. Also want to thank Thorndale Fire Company for their work during the year as volunteers. Patrick will never tell you this, but there are times that he works from the fire company in order to make sure that we can get a truck out. I want to thank Minquist as well, and their service is indispensable to the township. And then finally, my fellow board members. We've spent hundreds of hours here this year, and we worked really well together to make sure that we found the best candidate to lead this township. Lastly, just want to thank Don for joining us.
Yes.
We look forward to working with you in the future. That's all.
Thank you.
Gosh, well said. Well said. I believe the rest of the feel pretty much the same.
And also, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
There you go. Commissioners, any other comments? All right, I just want to wish everyone happy holidays, happy new year.
Thank you.
Thanks so much to the staff, everyone. I'm going to leave what Josh had put out there, pretty much the same. So thank you, everyone. And
Thank you.
I guess at this point, look at that.
you.
Entertain a motion to adjourn unless you want to keep going.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Happy holidays.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Everyone.
I almost forgot.